Alright, we got day 3 on this build on the F100 truck. It's day after Easter. Took Easter off yesterday, and then Saturday I worked like a half day, so we're kind of back on the grind. Today I'm going to start to tackle the wipers. They're that's the old system. I'm just going to do some splicing. I'm going to show you how to do those little inline splices. The cool, I think they're made by Motec or something. They're sold under the Motec brand. They're really cool. I got them here. Let's give you a look at these little suckers. They're color coded, and I've got a little inline splice tool, so we'll cover that. And then I'm gonna just kind of freestyle around again on a cleanup today. A lot of this stuff I'm gonna be waiting to do the final wiring before the second PDM does arrive, so it's all loomed together. I'm gonna do one loom that has everything with a bunch of branches, just so this cab isn't getting too crazy. It's looking like a bit of an octopus. It's gonna be routed, it's gonna be there, the dash sits here. I might also do a little test fitting of the dash to make sure that we're not putting anything in the way, but let's get back at it. The little tool that I use for the mini splice, and these are all color coded, which is nice. Anytime anything's color coded, it's got 12 to 16, 16 to 20, and 20 to 26. So anytime anything's color coded, yellow, blue, red, it makes my life 100 times easier. They also make these ones, which I believe these are step downs. I got these all at ProWire. They'll do a different size on in and out, which we might have to use because of the nature of the ones that are wired to the wiper are a bit thicker than what I'm going to use. But they might fit this. I'm going to do a little test fit and we'll see. I'm going to strip one back. So let's check it out. So yellow fits. That's perfect. That'll fit on the 16 gauge that I've got on the other end. So it's that's really old. That's probably, 20-year-old wire, but ideally you should strip it out and take it all apart and redo it, but we're just gonna, it's just the wipers, so I'm gonna cross my fingers and hopefully it'll work. I'm gonna use the hard SCL over that just to make sure it's really strong in case anyone pulls it, and then I'm gonna route it up around here so it'll all kind of sit up, so there'll be no way to pull it. I'll zip tie it there, so if anyone yanks that, it's gonna be fine. But because I'm pretty sure it grounds through the unit, and so we've got to have might be a power, a high, a low, and a brake, or the wiper park, not the brake, or it might be a ground. I'm not sure. I looked up a couple of wiring diagrams. If anyone knows the wiring system or what model that wiper motor is, let me know. I would love to hear back on what it does. It only had these two wired, and I think that was a high and a low, and then this might be the brake. So I don't know, or I don't know if it works like it has one power in and then high and low. Alright, so got the little mini splicer. I'm going to do the first one just to make sure that it all goes down okay. It's got the that looks nice. It looks like it's gonna work out. And I'm gonna put a big long piece of heat shrink because this old insulation is pretty hot. Here we go. Gonna use Mr. Mini Splice. And this one's nice because it pushes through, but you can also put the wire through, so you're not stuck. So there we got our 4 connectors. I'm going to put the heat shrink down on there, probably about that long on each one. And I'm going to have to deep-in that DT to put a piece over the top. And this will dry pretty stiff and firm to keep it all strain relieved and protected. But the red and the orange is going to be the bottom 2 that was running. So I've got this written down now, or documented on the video. Won't forget. Alright, there we go. So then we're going to slide the orange wire in here. That's a good one. That's how it needs to go. There's the crimp. So that one's on that side, that one's on that side. We'll give it a tug test. Yeah, it's not gonna go anywhere. So that's 2 down. Alright, let's see, that's where it needs to be. That's the best way to do it. Then slide the wire in. Good one. See, there you go. You can get a look at this one. That's how it should look. And these things are super solid. We got one on one side, one on the other. So I really need to get a cordless heat gun. If anyone's got an idea, I was thinking of a Milwaukee or something. Let's see if we can get in here. Shrink her down. So this is the dual wall adhesive line heat shrink. That's going to dry pretty firm. And then I'm going to coat the whole groove with that Attune strip that I stuck on there. Just so it'll dry really stiff and strong. Just going to T-pin this. It's your standard DT connector. We've been over this one already. Just slide the little connectors, or the little hatches, doors, whatever they are. Comes out like that. Pretty easy. You can see that that's really old plastic in there. The covering, and it was probably cheap wire to start with. Alright, we're gonna shrink these down. Squeeze, get that glue, we're done. Alright, we got the wiper motor, zip tied it there, got it all tied around there. Now we're moving on to the windows. I gotta work out where to ground that thing. That's the power. Starting here on the windows and the AC, which is, again, I've said it before, but it's off the PDM. So we're gonna move on here. And I got a ground run that goes right back to the battery. So this is a super short little run here. I'll probably put a big wire, and then I'm going to use this DT12 that I got. So just a little tip here, because we are using the DT connector, the 12 contact connector onto the ground post, and I don't want to use a DTP because it's just going to be another connector. I've got this little step down here. From this side is going to be 12 gauge, and then this splits to 3/14, and then these connectors, each one of these contacts will do 13 amps. So we got 13, 26, 39, and the whole connector does about 30 amps. So it's just the windows. It's not like it's running all day long. It's just up and down. So it should be fine, and it's a good little way to split stuff up and still not have 8 million connectors in your setup. So keep trying to keep things serviceable and think about it, how we're gonna change it down the line. Not change it, how we're gonna work on it down the line. So just stripping off these. Then we're gonna crimp them on. Keep that nice and flat, tighten it down. There we go. This one I'm going to strip just a little bit more. Someone messaged me and told me about a wire stripper that has a set length, and so I ordered one of those, like $100, but I think it's well worth it because I always have to keep going back and doing it, and then that's pretty good. You just want, like, you know, they say a fingernail, so mine's a little big, but it'll work. There's that tricky one that kind of came apart. Again, these are the green stripes will work with 14 AWG wire. There, we got it that time. And this goes in a DT connector, not a DTP. It's gonna come in, so this will be 3 for the windows. So now we're connected to the car, and I've got this here. You just gotta make sure you put this is gonna be the SCL. It's gonna really hold it strong, and then I'm gonna put this right over the top to seal everything up. And I can run the other heat shrink from the other side. So once it's all done, we'll sleeve it down from the other side. But sometimes you have to be careful you're not backing yourself in. But so this will slide over there. But first, we're gonna crimp it down. And it's the same setting. Sometimes it's a bit of a guesswork with these. Let's try to keep it tough, but there you go. Then give it a good crimp. And that's really snug. That's not going anywhere. Once this is heat shrinked over it, it's solid. Try to start at one end so it gets nice and shrinked, then over the splice. Get it nice and warm. Another end. And this is called the SCL Raychem, which dries really hard, so this is going to be make it really secure. You can't yank on it. Then we'll tape it all up at the end. So the next step in this is to get power to the other side of this, which will be similar. We're going to put one similar to this. This is going to be the rear ground. This is going to be the switch positive. So I got to get one of these posts wired up, and temporarily we're just going to put it right to the battery common, and so I can test everything. And then once I put it secure, we're going to use all the breakers. So basically, there's going to be a rear ground 12 DT12. There's going to be the signals DT12s that wakes everything up, and there's going to be a DT12 for power that goes in the breakers and one that comes out of the breakers. So that's the setup. So now when we know it works, we can go ahead and trim it up and make it look pretty. So that's a good update. I'm pretty stoked with today. We're on day 3 in the afternoon. I'm gonna try to plan out the breakers next, I think, just so we get everything safe. I don't want to really run it hot right now. It's run hot right off there, so that's not a good long-term solution. But I wanted to test the windows. So I should probably do the same thing for the AC, and once I get the AC running, we'll be good to go. So thanks again for watching, and leave comments. Let me know what you think of the updates. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. Let me know what I can improve on. I got a couple of cool messages from people that actually watched it and gave me tips on tools, so I'm stoked, and I want you guys to be a part of this little process. So thanks again.